Mikhail Sergachev, Jonas Johansson, the one-time Panther in net for Tampa Bay tonight. Panthers in red right to left across your screen. Tampa Bay in white left to right. We're off and running. Here in the opening frame from Amaranth Bank Arena, puck played down to our right. It's Braden Point here on the near side. Tampa Bay trying to go to work in the offensive end early. It's tossed down to the near corner, taken away. Belinsky starts along, outlet feed, rink wide off the stick of Verhaeghe. Picked up, and Rodriguez will drop it back inside the Panthers zone. It's Gus Forsling up the right side. Verhaeghe rink wide. Belinsky's drop pass in the near circle. That one's poked away by Darren Radish, not out of the zone. Handled by Forsling. Big drive right into the midsection of the goaltender, Jonas Johansson, and 35 seconds have elapsed here early on. No score early. Panthers and the Lightning Geico goalie matchup. Sergei Bobrovsky and Jonas Johansson head-to-head in this one. Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more in your car insurance. But, Billy, the final preseason game for each team, the last tune-up, for the most part, I'd say we have about an 85 to 90% opening night roster on each side.
The final tune-up and the big question for the Tampa Bay Lightning going into the start of the season. You just mentioned him, the goaltender, Jonas Johansson, 28 years old, played only 35 games over a stretch of 5 years with Buffalo, Colorado, a couple of games here in Florida, Colorado last year. Spent most last year in the American Hockey League, but without Vasilevsky, they have not gone out and got a goaltender. They're going to roll with Jonas Johansson, and Matt Tompkins probably is going to be the backup at the start of the year for John Cooper and his squad.
And they like Matt Tompkins, too, as we go up on a minute gone by here in this first period of play. The Lightning out of their own zone, but that's certainly going to be worth watching. The Atlantic Division's so competitive, you can't afford to have any kind of drop-off as the puck's lugged in on the near side, Steven Stamkos. But already in the zone was Connor Sherry, a newcomer to this Tampa Bay team, so an offside call, and up will come. A face-off, Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Early on, 1:06 into the action. No score between the two teams. Alongside Billy Lindsay, Doug Plagans here with you tonight. The Panthers open up the regular season slate coming up on Thursday at 8 on the road against the Minnesota Wild. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're playing the Nashville Predators at 5:30 Eastern on Tuesday in what is actually the first regular season game on the schedule for anybody.
This Panther group, their last chance to really get it kind of ramped up. A few players sitting out, but this is it. Most of the decisions have been made, and Paul Maurice and the coaching staff, they're getting ready to roll, getting ready for that opener against Minnesota. And everyone and the players, when you talk to them, when it's finally said and done, they're happy when that regular season puck drop comes for the first time.
As Josh Mahura dumps one down to our left, Eric Chernak bumped on the end boards. Got back there for the Lightning. He's able to spring one along. Tampa Bay on the move. Alex Barré-Boulet, rink wide. This one goes into the neutral zone. Handled by Nick Paul. Then Ryan Lomberg pressuring him. Paul dances away from the pressure. Gets to center. And the puck played down to our right. Inside the Panthers zone. Handed around the end boards from Radish. Over on that far side. It's whipped out in front from Tyler Mott. Intercepted. Out come the Panthers Forsling. Right side. Zach Dalpe is run into over along the boards. Sergachev able to come away with the puck for the Lightning. Almost turned it over. Bounced it off Dalpe as he tried to clear. Now Sergachev regathers here on the near side. Springs one on for Waltteri Merula. Up the right wing. He goes down into the Panthers zone. It's played down behind the net. It's tossed across far corner. Luke Glendening out to the point. Lightning working around Sergachev. Radish right point. Long shot just off the mark. Over on the far side, Sergachev to the line. Merila across right side. Radish a drive again. Tipped in front and they score. That went off a stick out in front of the goal. It was Tanner Jeannot, I believe, who was able to get the last piece of that. A low shot along the ice from Radish. It's tipped in. 17:23 to go in the first. 1-0 Lightning.
Just a point shot, and it's a long point shot that's able to get there by Radish. And Tanner Jeannot, this is where he's most effective. Came over last year at the trade deadline from the Nashville Predators and was able to make an impact. And they're hoping for big things, bigger, better things from Tanner Jeannot, but he's a big body in front of the net. Able to get a piece of that puck by Radish, and Tampa Bay able to get that first goal on the board. You look back at Tanner Jeannot, and 21-22 with Nashville, had 81 games, had 24 goals, dipped all the way down to 56 in games last year, only 5 goals on the board. They want to see him and ramp back up, and Tampa Bay for success, Tanner Jeannot is going to be a big part of it.
He brings a lot of jam to the lineup. Remember that year with Nashville, too. They were among the league leaders. I think they were the league leader in fighting majors in the National Hockey League that year, and Tanner Jeannot was a big part of it. Plus, he was putting the puck in the net, so they're looking for some of that from him as Nikita Kucherov brings it over the Panthers line. Lost it to Barkov, who didn't clear, and the Lightning will have another chance in the offensive end. Kucherov, long shot, that's wide. Bounces off to the near wall, handed down low by Nick Perbix. Around the end wall then, Brandon Hagel. Kucherov behind the net point, looking back for Kucherov, couldn't get that pass through. Mike Riley comes away with it for the Panthers. Around for Dmitry Kulikov. Outlet near side for Hagee. A backhand on the money. Barkov powers up the left side. Pass out front, tip wide by Rodriguez getting in. And they'll dig for it over in the far corner. Turns into a four-player scrum down low. 16:26 to go in the first. 1-0. It's Tampa Bay out in front on an early goal from Tanner Jeannot off a deflection. Here on the near side of the ice, Kucherov. He's able to maneuver away from the one-time Tampa Bay Lightning forward Carter Verhaeghe. Now a Panther, of course, coming off that 41-goal season. Kucherov back in his own end, almost lost it, got it back, pass across for Victor Hedman, and then he'll hand one on for Anthony Cirelli that takes a bounce down to a right into the Panthers zone. Stamkos leaning in against Josh Mahura far corner. The Lightning going to have a chance here, but a pass sent around the end boards out of the reach of Chernak. That'll send Tampa Bay all the way back into their own zone. Matthew Tkachuk in on the forecheck for the Panthers. The goaltender Johansson to Chernak, bounced out of the zone up the right side. A chance for the Lightning out of the near circle. A try from Connor Sherry. Bobrovsky got a piece of it, and the puck is cleared up and out of play. 15:40 left in the first. 1-0 Lightning, and we'll see. Is there going to be a delay of game call after that?
Nope.
No, there won't
Looks
be.
like it's going to be clean, but there, Forsling got caught on a pinch, led to an odd man rush going down the other way, and the quick shot there coming in from Isimont, able to get underneath the blocker in the glove of Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky was able to get a piece of it, and finally the Panthers get the puck out of harm's way.
And the puck played out into the neutral zone by Uvis Balinskis. Here on the near side, tussle for the loose puck. Gus Forsling backed into his own zone. Balinskis, his first foray into North American pro hockey, and he's had a really nice camp for the Panthers.
4 years in the KHL, and then last 3 years spent in the Czech League, and comes over, first taste of North American, and has looked really good on the back end.
Up the right side, Matthew Tkachuk to the corner. Back in front, jammed it in. Johansson got a piece of it. Forsling charging in. Nick Cousins covering his point position. He'll play it right circle. Played back out front for Cousins from Tkachuk. A nice feed there on the fake shot pass, and it just bounced away from Cousins. Now here's Tkachuk. A sharp angle try, juggled by Johansson, and he's able to get in the way of that one. The whistle blows as the Tampa Bay goaltender's there to cover. 14:54 to go in the first. 1-0. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning in front here early in this one. The Panthers knocking on the door there, though. Cats fans, your Panthers almost back for another season. The regular season starts Thursday. Home opener October 19th. Claim your seats for the upcoming 30th anniversary season of Panthers hockey. Single game tickets now available for all games this season. Puck played out to the line. Kulikov right side, sliced down behind the net. As you can go to FloridaPanthers.com, by the way, for those tickets. We got back to live action so fast, didn't even have a chance to finish the read.
And then Matthew Tkachuk just really showing how good he is in tight spaces. Forsling gets down from his point position, creates that chance against Johansson, but we saw it all the time in the playoffs last year. Matthew Tkachuk where he does most of his damage is down deep there in the corners, and he can handle the puck with people draped all over him. And Forsling, with that skating ability, loves to cheat down from the point. Caught the winger sleeping, was able to get that chance. Johansson, a big save. Matthew Tkachuk, Hart Trophy finalist last year, and then the heroics in the playoffs. Best Panther season that I believe I've ever witnessed.
From front to back, start to finish. Yeah, he was outstanding. He was consistent, and I know we already can't wait for year number 2 as the puck's played into the neutral zone. Tampa Bay on the move, left circle. It's walked down behind the net and fumbled away from Asimont. He's going to have to bring it out to the neutral zone then. It's Victor Hedman, pass straight on. Nick Paul out of Barry Boulay. Out front for Paul. The pass hopped away. Anton Lundell for the Panthers, and he'll play it up that far side. Taken by Hedman down to our left. 13:54 to go first period. 1-0. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning in front on that early goal from Tanner Jeannot, who's the puck carrier here on the near side of the ice. Josh Mahura poked it away. Loose here on the near boards. Kevin Stenlin digging for it. Now it's Terry Merrilla had it for a moment, lost it. Merrilla, like Belinsky's, same kind of situation, coming over after playing extensively professionally over in Europe for a while. As the Panthers get another clear, and Hedman will give to Perbix.
The revolving door in the third and fourth lines with the salary cap issues. John Cooper, Julian Brisebois, their GM, always juggling, it seems, and Newcastle characters in this year. The most notable addition, maybe Connor Sheary coming into this lineup. Sheary was been really good over the course of his career the last 3 years in Washington.
Evan Rodriguez, a takeaway on the near side as Darren Radish had lost his stick. It's dropped back near point. Gus Forsling handed along the near boards to Rodriguez. He'll sneak away from Braden Point. Lost the puck. Point able to come up with it. He's got Barkov on him. Point over to the far side around the end board. Sergachev. And then he looks long. That pass missed the target. All the way down to our right it goes. And there won't be an icing here. Bobrovsky is going to leave it behind the net for Uvis Belinsky, who looks like he's in for a big night of ice time here early on. He's playing with Gus Forsling, who always plays a pretty heavy workload. 12:39 to go in the first. 1-0 Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay, you mentioned, Billy, the guys they brought in, trying to really fill the voids of what they lost. You know, over the course of the last few years, we go back to losing Gord and Coleman and Gaudreau and players like that. And, of course, now with Pat Maroon and Corey Perry having, gone elsewhere.
Yeah, Pawat, everyone's just crazy.
And Alex Killorn. With Tanner Jeannot and Mikey Asamont and, some of these players have come in. Connor Sheary, who's been with good teams and been on winners before. They look to fill some of those holes as Braden Point brings it up the right side. Feathers one in front. It's tapped wide by Brandon Hagel, who's been another new addition and now become a mainstay for Tampa Bay. Signed that big contract in the offseason. Barkov dumps one down to our left, and Hagel's the first one back to play it.
And with Tampa, it's just a lot like the Panthers. As long as you got that core there, if you got Braden Point, you got Kucherov, you got Stamkos, you got Hedman on the back end, you can throw Sergachev in that miss. And when the goaltender, Andrei Vasilevsky, is always playing 60-plus games, it's not going to happen this year with the injury. Maybe it's good for him to get a little bit of a rest. We'll see how it shakes out early in the season, but that core is always there for Tampa.
Now a shot out of the near circle from Mike Riley, and that one's paddled away by Jonas Johansson. The puck picked up and cleared out of the zone by Anthony Cirelli, and the Lightning maneuver to the neutral zone, taken away by Eetu Luostarinen. He gets off to the far side of the ice. It's dumped down to our left, and Eric Chernak will wind it around near side. Nick Cousins able to keep it in. Floats one rink wide off a bounce. Kulikov, he'll take it down to the right corner, and then he hands it up top. Cousins penalty on the way against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who touch up. 11:21 to go in the first. 1-0 Tampa Bay, and the Panthers are going to have a power play opportunity presented by Seminole Coconut Creek Casino to try and get this game tied up. It looks like it is the veteran defenseman Calvin DeHaan who will be taking a seat for Tampa Bay. So the Panthers going to go to the man advantage. 11:21 left in the first. 1-0 the score. Commercial-free rock and roll here on the FloridaPanthers.com stream, so keep it locked right here. Cats fans, Amerant Bank Arena is going to be roaring this season. Lower Bowl season tickets are sold out, but there's still time to get in. Don't wait. Panthers reps are standing by to help you secure your season tickets. 954-835-PUCK or go to
this Panther team out of the gate.
Absolutely. And right after he signed, he appeared at one of the Panthers summer reading tour stops, and we talked to him there. And again, this was a week or two after he signed his contract, and he was just so energized, so excited to be back here in a Panthers uniform as the puck's brought on by Riley. Given on to Barkov. He gets through the neutral zone off to the far wing. The puck is knocked away by Luke Glendening. We've got looks like a whistle for perhaps a hand pass coming up here. 11:03 left in the first period. 1-0 Tampa Bay in front. And a face-off upcoming. So 1:42 on the Panthers power play presented by Seminole Coconut Creek Casino.
Paul Murray's still trying to sort out line combinations to some extent. He knows what he's got from last year, but Bennett's a little bit banged up right now. And good chance we're going to see Samoskevich at the start of the year on this Panther team. Take a look. He's had a marvelous training camp. Not in the lineup tonight. That leads me to believe that he's going to be in the lineup in Minnesota.
Riley right side, Tkachuk down to the corner, Barkov up top, Riley across. One-time drive, Rodriguez from the top of the near circle, kicked away by Johansson, and out comes Brandon Hagel for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Dropped it back for Cirelli, hopped away, Hedman leans into one, and that's stopped by the blocker, Sergei Bobrovsky, able to get a piece of that as Hedman came in just ready to wind up and let it rip, and that's what he did, but Sergei Bobrovsky in the way that time as Matthew Tkachuk takes over now for the Panthers, who've got 58 seconds of power play time left to work with. Up the wing, here's Anton Lundell down to the near corner. He'll take it to the end boards, pokes one around the end wall, handled by Tkachuk out to the right point. Forsling down to the far side, taken by Tkachuk again, backs out to the right point, pass down low. Lundell in front for Verhaeghe, and that one just hopped away, may have glanced off a Tampa Bay stick. Back come the Lightning, Paul, as he hands it to Eyssimont. Yeah, there's a penalty upcoming here, and it's going to be against the Panthers, it would appear. Holding is the signal. 9:54 to play in the first. 1-0. The Tampa Bay Lightning in front. 33 seconds were remaining in the Panthers power play presented by Seminole Coconut Creek Casino. And it looks like Kevin Stenlin's the guilty party here.
Going against Nick Paul, and Nick Paul's a big body. 6'3", 225 pounds, 2 1/4. He's going, he just protects that puck there, and Stenlin was trying to get back on the back check, trying to do something, and Paul was just able to hold that puck out, protect it, and finally reached out with the free hand, did Stenlund. 33 seconds, a 4-on-4 hockey, then that well-known Tampa Bay power play that we've seen for so long will get a brief chance to go to work.
And as far as this power play goes for Tampa Bay, we'll see what kind of configuration they go with once they get into it, but Alex Killorn not in the picture anymore. He was a key part of it for a while. Alexander Barkov up the right side for the Panthers. Takes it down and around the end boards. Backhand feed up top. Gus Forsling off to his right. Uvis Balinskis now to Barkov right side. Backs out to the point. Looks across again. Out of the reach of Balinskis. Cirelli takes over for Tampa Bay. Cross ice Brandon Hagel, and he'll sneak up the left wing. Hagel left circle. Looks out front for Hedman. That didn't connect. Barkov getting backlogged the lane. Hedman keeps it alive for Tampa Bay. Out to the far point. Sergachev, who rattles it through the far circle. Barkov regathering, and then he'll snap it out to the neutral zone off the stick of Eetu Luostarinen, and he'll power through some pressure. Up the wing he goes. Right side, a shot from Luostarinen, and that is up and out of play. 9:02 left in the first. 1-0 Tampa Bay. So Panthers on the kill here for 108. You talked about it, Billy, in relation to Sam Bennett. Paul Maurice said earlier today that the word he used was doubtful for the opener, but it didn't sound like it was going to be incredibly long-term beyond that.
That's a good thing.
And Grigory Denisenko should say claimed off waivers by the Vegas Golden Knights, as we've got a shot toward the net down there to our left. Johansson perhaps getting a piece of it there, and now Nikita Kucherov here on the near wall to start things up for Tampa Bay.
And the big change on the Lightning power play is that Victor Hedman has lost the first duties to Mikhail Sergachev. Sergachev signed the big contract, and he's the point guy. He's the trigger guy up high, where Hedman held that spot for so long.
Right side, Kucherov out in front, a chance, and a save. Bobrovsky on point. Lomberg comes up with a loose puck, far circle, gives to Luostarinen. Right side, it's Lomberg again. On the wing, long shot, he scores! Ryan Lomberg from beyond the top of the right circle sneaks it past the right pad of Johansson, and a shorthanded goal ties it with 8:26 to go in the first.
Never a bad idea to shoot the puck, and Lomberg there, just using the defenseman for the screen, is able to beat Johansson low to the blocker's side. Just a simple wrist shot from just inside the blue line, and if you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan and you're looking at your goaltending, you don't want to see this during the regular season, because that is a muff. That would be an error in baseball. That goes in 1 out of 100, and that happened to be 1 out of 100 that goes in. Lomberg, give him credit though. Shoot the puck, and actually the defenseman is using the screen, kind of got out of the way and left it for the goaltender. Not sure if it dove or whatever, but Johansson just missed it.
Puck played all the way down to our left, and Jonas Johansson, who had the shutout in the preseason game played in Orlando back on Tuesday. One he'd like to have back there, no doubt about it, but Ryan Lomberg will take it. Here on the right side, Connor Sherry gives to Hedman. Now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Cirelli in front. He fanned on a shot. Balinskis comes up with it, and he'll hand it across right side. Talpe out of the zone, up the wing. Here's Sam Reinhart, top left circle. Looks out in front. It's poked wide by Talpe. And then the puck clubbed into the neutral zone. Looked like that was Talpe trying to get it out to a point man, and it just got between the two of them. Mike Riley in neutral ice has it. His pass up the near side bounces back his way. Riley across for Kulikov.
And Dalpe, that's his straight line speed, just going hard to the net. Verhaeghe trying to throw it in front there. Dalpe played a ton of playoff games last year, 13 for the Panthers, and had a big goal, actually.
Yeah, one of the goals in that crazy Game 6 against Boston in round 1, and I know we talk about a lot of things in that series, but Game 6 was a wild affair between these two teams, or between those two teams, I should say. And Zach Dalpe, if everything in that game didn't happen the way that it did, could have had an entirely different.
You look at Boston; they had two different third-period leads.
Yep,
and they were one of the best teams in the NHL at shutting the door. The ups and downs and the swings in that series.
Long shot, Nick Cousins couldn't get it through. Tanner Jeannot, far side, looks rink wide. And the Lightning on the move. It's played up the near side by Eric Chernak. Down here on the near boards, it's going to be tracked down by Glendening. Out to the point, Chernak across, long shot, and that one wide from DeHaan. Here on the near boards, it's Merrill out to the line. Long drive again, Chernak, and a save made by Bobrovsky. 6:48 to go in the first, 1-1 the score. And Zach Dalpe, that goal in Game 6 goes up there as among the most important goals that were scored in that playoff run.
There was a lot
of them. 7 overtime wins, so there were some big goals scored. And you look at this division, how competitive it's going to be. You talked about what it took for the Panthers to get into the playoffs last year, and specifically as a puck bounces into the Panthers bench for a stoppage, an injury like the one to Andrei Vasilevsky, depending on how much time he misses, you don't want to fall back behind the pack much in this Atlantic Division race, and an injury like that, that's an important player to say the least.
To hang your hat on Jonas Johansson, 35 games in the NHL, 28 years old, and you got Tompkins, the backup, that has never played a game in the NHL. Early on, Tompkins going to have to play some NHL games. Don't know what you have in it, but the start of the season for Tampa Bay is going to be critical. Same thing with the Panthers without Montour and Ekblad, but I'd be more concerned because Vasilevsky has just shouldered such a heavy workload over the years.
Sort of over on the far side for the Panthers. He'll toss it down behind the net. That takes a hop up and over the glass. 6:20 to go in the first. 1-1 the score. We'll get to more on that thought there in just a moment because I wanted to add something to it, Billy. But our game's your way all season. Panthers fans, build the perfect plan for you with our 23-24 Panthers Flex plans. Choose the best combination of games that fit your schedule. Go to FloridaPanthers.com or call 954-835-PUCK for more information on Flex plans. Get your tickets today. But obviously, Aaron Ekblad, Brandon Montour, impossible to replace guys like that in the lineup. Those are two all-world players as the puck is put toward the net. But Andrei Vasilevsky in the Tampa Bay net, if they don't find a formula right away, or if they don't have a guy take the ball and run with it, that's one of the most impossible losses to handle with for any team in the National Hockey League.
Hard to come up with.
As the puck is walked into the offensive end, Kulikov went between the legs on that attempt and just put it wide. Out to the point again, handled by Tkachuk down low. Osterinen looking out in front for Cousins. That didn't connect, and out come the Lightning again. It's turned over around center, and the Panthers will regroup back in their own end. Balinski's with Connor Sherry pressuring in. Looks off to the right, has Nick Cousins. Through the neutral zone, he walks in. Looks left, has Tkachuk. Left circle, shot! It's fought off by Johansson. Now Tkachuk again, try to pass to the line. Couldn't get it to Balinski's. And up the near side, it's brought on by Stamkos. Pushed up the wing, down to our right, and into the corner, and then behind the net, it's Forsling. There was a collision here on the near side.
Braden Point got hit, and he's looking at the referee. You're allowed to get hit in preseason.
And went right into the linesman on that collision. Here's Barkov in right side of the circle. Barkov in front for Verhaeghe, and getting across to make the save with the right pad was Johansson. A big one there, and he's made a couple of big saves early. He let one get by that he probably would like to have back. 1-1 is our score. 4:57 to go in the first period. Gus Forsling starts the attack again for the Panthers. Long rink-wide feed. That's clubbed away by Hedman. All the way down to our right. No icing here. Josh Mahura rings it around the boards, up the near side, into the neutral zone. Mahura back on it. He'll cross center, absorbs a check from Merrill, plays it down to our left. The puck around the end boards, far side. Glendening there, and he'll toss it up the wing. Luke Glendening, one of those guys whose face-off percentage generally gets him a job every season.
One of the best in the NHL, and just looking back on that last save by Johansson there, he is big, 6'5", covers that bottom half of the net. Barkov on that 2-on-1, and Verhaeghe was on his strong side, which means got to be able to shovel it hard and try and get it up. Just could not elevate the puck. And Johansson, similar in Vasilevsky in structure and size-wise, and is able to cover that bottom half of the net. Elevating the puck in tight is a challenge, and Verhaeghe just could not get it up quick enough.
Here's Ryan Lomberg taking a feed on the left wing, gets across center, chips it along the boards, and he tries to work it past Nick Perbix. Down to the corner it goes. Anton Lundell, he's there. Now a pass Lomberg near side. Shot as he took that feed from Reinhardt. It's stopped by Johansson, and the puck is cleared to the neutral zone by Mirala. Sent back the other way on the counterattack, Mike Riley. Lomberg then dumps it down to our left. Back behind the net, the goaltender Johansson out to play it. He'll give to Perbix in the near corner. Up the near wing for Barre Poulet. Bouncing puck to the line, and it didn't get out of the zone on the first try. Second try, the Lightning do get it beyond the line. Sort of taps it back along the near side. Handled here on the near boards, Perbix. Long pass out of the zone. Barre Poulet will chop it down to the near corner, and Gus Forsling, first one back for the Panthers. He'll wind it up the near wall, and it's past Anton Lundell into the neutral zone. Darren Radish heading back inside the Lightning zone. He'll go cross ice. 3:09 left in the first. 1-1 is the score. The puck worked along far side by Connor Sherry, picked up by Balinskis, who is able to spring it back along for the Panthers. Pass hops away. Sherry in front to an open man, and they score. And it's Cirelli in close. A puck that hopped away in the neutral zone, and the Tampa Bay Lightning turned it into a quick counter strike. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay with 2:59 to play in the first.
Panthers had the control of the puck, and they just bobbled it. And it would have been offside, but the Panthers pushed it back into the zone. That's why that play was not offside. And the quick pass in front to Cirelli, and Cirelli able to make a quick move and take it from his forehand to his backhand, reach around that left pad of Bobrovsky, stuffs it into the net, all alone in front, and a little miscommunication there by the Panthers, unable to get out of their zone, had a chance, and threw it back into the zone, and a quick pass in front, and Cirelli finds himself scot-free against Bobrovsky.
Well, that's something that both of these teams have, and it's something that the Tampa Bay Lightning haven't lost, even though they've had some new personnel come in. It's that quick strike ability, and both of these teams, if you give them a window of opportunity, there's a good chance they're going to pounce on it, and in that situation, it was the Tampa Bay Lightning who did. Anthony Cirelli was set up out in front all by himself. Now down to our left, Tkachuk in front of chance, and they scored. It's Eetu Luostarinen set up on a beautiful feed from Tkachuk, and this game is tied at 2 with 2:27 to go in the opening frame. The back and forth scoring continues, and we said right there, both these teams, neither one needs too big of a window of opportunity to score. Right there, the Panthers, they come right back in, and they tie the game.
And where Matthew Tkachuk, he was best in the NHL at completing slot passes from behind the net last year. No one was better. And we just saw an example of it on that play. He gets the puck behind the net, quick little backhand shovel in front, Luostarinen cruising through the slot, gets a piece of it, gets it behind Johansson, and Panthers immediately strike back, get this game tied up. But back when I was playing early on, even growing up, behind the net, it was Wayne Gretzky. They called it the office, and that was when they had the tiny room behind the net, not much there. But Matthew Tkachuk makes a living and earns a living back there, and I'd venture to say, watching him play last year, behind the net, there is no one better, and it's been a long time since I've seen a player use the back of the net since Gretzky like he does.
Puck played out to the far point, Kulikov, Panthers in the offensive end, and Matthew Tkachuk, I think he's getting the credit around the league for his passing ability as Barkov's shot goes up and out of play off a deflection. Looks like 1:56 to go in the first, 2-2 the score. But that's something that Paul Maurice gave high praise to throughout all last season was his hands. And I think he said a lot of people don't realize the hands that he has. For more information, face-off coming up near circle down to our left in the offensive end. Barkov back to Forsling. Balinskis took that feed. His one-timer blocked. Puck collected by Rodriguez to the line. Forsling, a shot tipped in front and a big save made by Johansson with the glove. He's able to hang on to that puck that changed course on the way. 1:48 left in the opening frame. 2-2 is the score. Panthers fans, time to haunt, celebrate the spooky season in your favorite costume with your Panthers coming up on Saturday, October 28th as they take on the Seattle Kraken right here at Amerant Bank Arena. Spooky drinks, snacks, and experience Panthers hockey on home ice. Tickets on sale at FloridaPanthers.com. Up the far side, Tampa Bay gets it out. Braden Point, Kucherov, Point, one man to beat, cuts in on net. Point, a shot, a save, Bobrovsky. He denies the 50-goal man from a year ago. 1:35 left in the first. 2-2 is the score. The Panthers app, the brand new home for all things Panthers. Download the Florida Panthers app today at floridapanthers.com and stay up to date on all the latest news, videos, stats, scores, sales, foundation updates, and more. The Panthers app, you'll be able to get the broadcast there as well. So get on the Panthers app if you haven't already.
Brayden Point can scoot, can he?
He can.
He's got that quick burst, took that pass from Kucherov. You mentioned the 51 goals that he put up last year. His previous career high was 41 back in 18-19 season for the Lightning.
Anton Lundell cruising in offensively, but the whistle blows. Offside called. Celebrate 30 years of Panthers hockey this season with special Decades Night games at Amerant Bank Arena. Come celebrate the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s with your Cats as we look back at the Panthers' history and continue on the hunt. And, folks, the select Decades Nights, of course. Come and check that out. Hard to believe we're already talking about the 2010s as a decade night. Time's going by. Here's Perbix out of the high slot, a shot that's blocked by Josh Mahura, and that one deflects high in the air, and Mahura a little bit hobbled getting to the bench after absorbing that shot as the puck played down to our left into the Tampa Bay zone, and Josh Mahura is going to get some assistance down in the tunnel, it looks like. That one stung a bit. A guy who certainly is a durable member of this Panthers back end. Played all 82 last year, Josh Mahura did, as Darren Radish puts one down wide. Nick Paul, far side, played all the playoff games, and he endured a number of bumps and bruises along the way and battled through all that to play every game last year. One of the success stories for the Panthers, and there were many, is the puck's handled here on the near side. Justin Sordoff able to pound it along into the neutral zone, and it's dropped back sort of for Mike Riley, who scoots to center. 24 seconds in the period. 2-2's the score. Riley sends one down and off the end boards. Loose along the end wall over on that far side. The Panthers able to hold it in. Kulikov, then it's kicked away. And the pressure coming back down to our right. Kulikov after it. Nick Paul in against him. Pass straight on. He's got his man Stenlin will dump it down. Final seconds begin to tick away here in this first period as Tampa Bay gets a clear from Chernak all the way down. That's going to do it for the opening 20. 2-2 the score. It was a back and forth tilt with a little bit of everything, Billy, but now welcome back, time of the second period from Amerant Bank Arena. It's the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning preseason finale for each of these two clubs. We're off and running, tied 2-2. Heading to period number 2. The Panthers outshot Tampa Bay 12-7 in that first period of action. Puck played down to our right into the Tampa Bay zone, and Darren Radish will spring one on. It's kept in at the line. The lane clogged up by Gus Forsling. Carter Verhaeghe down here for Evan Rodriguez out of the corner. He'll play one around to the far side looking for Barkov. That didn't connect. Tampa Bay with a chance to bring it out. Nikita Kucherov over on the far side, pressured by Barkov. Puck popped away. Brayden Point will scoop it up, drops back into his own end, gives to Sergachev. Point then looks across the ice, has Radish. Radish up the far side. Hagel, he'll give to Point, makes a move at the Panthers line, and then Point tosses it along the far boards. Uvis Balinski's there to grab it for the Panthers. He'll give on to Eetu Luostarinen. Far side dumped in by Nick Cousins down to our right. Panthers in red, left to right. Tampa Bay in white, right to left. As we head into our middle frame here, Doug Plagans alongside Billy Lindsay here for this one, and we'll be with you all season long as the puck's played straight on by Mike Riley. Takes a deflection down to our right. Victor Hedman on it. Around for Sergachev. Then his pass up the far side is broken up. Riley sharp angle try, and Johansson there to make the save. 18:47 left in the second period. 2-2 is the score. So to start the period, we've seen Forsling and Balinski's. We've seen Riley and Kulikov onto the ice. We'll see if
everything. He's going to mix and match, and we haven't seen Mahura yet. So looking down the bench, I'll count the players, and I'll give you an accurate total, Doug. How's that?
That sounds good. A long shot from Matthew Tkachuk is scooped up by the goaltender Johansson. 18:43 left in the second. 2-2 is the score. And it seems like in this one they're giving a long look to Uvis Balinskis.
Yeah. So 12 players on the bench, 5 on the ice, 17. We're missing 1. Josh Mahura is not on the Panthers bench.
Down to our right, puck picked up by Victor Hedman, out to center, tipped along by Anthony Cirelli, out of the reach of Connor Sherry. And now the Panthers back in their own end will get things started. Kulikov up the near side, Tkachuk, and now this one is taken away here on the near side. Hedman hands it back into his own zone, was maybe looking for his defense partner Perbix. The goaltender had to play that one, Jonas Johansson. Up the far side, it's lugged on by Stamkos. Had it poked away at the line. Sherry on it for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He'll flip it along, gloved by Casey Fitzgerald. He'll send it across. It's off the skate of Justin Sordiff. Picked up here on the near side by Anton Lundell. Up the board, Sam Reinhart dropped back into the Panthers zone, and Dmitry Kulikov will go back to play this one. 17:57 left in the second. 2-2 is the score. Sam Reinhart, right side, short pass. Here's Lundell, and he'll play it down off the end boards to our right. Sordiff keeping it down low. One hands it out in front. Lundell in close, a shot and a save. Johansson. Paul scoops it up in the far corner for the Lightning, but I like the strength of Sordiff on display on that play. He was able to help generate that opportunity. Won a battle on the end wall.
Sordiff was really good the other night against Tampa Bay, and strong down there on the end wall, making a strong case here for a push to at least be on that short order of call-ups.
Now Chernak across. Here's DeHaan. A long shot tipped in. A left pad save made by Bobrovsky. Out to the line, handled by Calvin DeHaan. Up the far side, the former Islander, Hurricane, Blackhawk, DeHaan now at Tampa Bay Lightning. It's Barre Boulay in front. A shot, and that one goes well wide, not a play. That had to have deflected off of something. 2:53 off the clock here in the second. 2-2 is the score.
Does Barre Boulay make the team for the Tampa Bay Lightning? 84 points last year down in the American Hockey League. Second in scoring. One of those guys, he was undrafted, largely in part probably because of his size. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he does have all kinds of skill. And looks like there might be a spot for him.
I think Tampa Bay would like to see him pick up some offensive slack, and a long shot coming in from the right point from Radish is wide. Rims around near side. Sergachev will hand it down low. But as you mentioned, as we talked about back in the first period, Tampa Bay with some of the key players over the last few years that they've seen walk out the door for salary cap reasons, they need a guy like Barre Boulay to come in and provide some production and some points. As the puck's picked up on the end boards down to our right, Radish off to Tanner Jeannot here on the near side, up the wing, and he'll toss it down to the near corner. This one pushed down behind the net and unable to get it back in the direction of Jeannot was Glendening. Panthers able to bring it back along. Here's Mike Riley. He'll flip it in on net, and it's gloved by the goaltender Johansson. So 16:26 left in the second. 2-2 is the score. The Panthers, as we know, without Ekblad and Montour to start the year. Paul Maurice earlier today did say that Sam Bennett, who didn't finish Thursday's game, was doubtful for the opener. And now you just hope for the best for Josh Mahura as well. That was a guy, as I said, who played all 82 games for the Panthers last year.
Got a few days in between. And
yep.
We'll see what comes from Josh Mahura. So reliable, and that another one of those Bill Zito waiver pickups that just turned out in a big-time fashion. Was paired mostly last year with Radko Gudas, and Radko Gudas moving on to Anaheim, but Mahura can play with pretty much anyone because of his stability. You know where he's going to be. He's one of those guys that just keeps it simple and works.
Nick Paul near side throws it back out in front. That hops away, and it was poked away from Perbix. Barkov back along for the Panthers. Left wing side, Verhaeghe had it nudged off his stick. He stays with it to the corner. Hedman kept it to the outside. Kulikov holds it in down to the corner. Verhaeghe. Then his pass out to the far side, intercepted by Paul. Got it out to center, and now the Panthers will try and bring it back along. A Rodriguez pass rink wide, intercepted, and Nikita Kucherov backs into his own zone. Kucherov able to dish a pass across to his right, and then it's fed rink-wide. Perbix out of the reach of Braden Point. Kulikov down to our left inside the Panthers zone. Casey Fitzgerald up the wing. Luostarinen was tied up, and the Lightning will have a chance to control in their own zone. We've gone about 4.5 minutes here in this second period. 2-2's our score as Victor Hedman plays one up the right side. Cirelli angles it down to our left. Casey Fitzgerald after it. He's got Mikey Asimon right on him. Here on the near side, Cirelli pounds it down and around the end boards. Far side picked up there by Stamkos. Into the corner, Asimon. He'll have it over on that far side. He's going to have it muscled off his stick by Casey Fitzgerald, and the puck goes into the neutral zone. Calvin DeHaan there for Tampa Bay. Pass up the near side too far for Cirelli, but we play on. Down to our left, Bobrovsky behind the net to leave it for Kulikov. Up the far side, it's tapped from Tkachuk to Cousins. On the left wing, then Luostarinen bats at it, taken back by Cirelli for Tampa Bay. He'll get across center, and he guides one down to our left. Uvis Balinski's backhand here on the near side. Tkachuk here on the near wing. He'll give to Luostarinen, has some space. Top right circle, nifty move, lost it. Got it back here along the near boards. Feeds Tkachuk back behind the net. Matthew Tkachuk looks to the right circle. Luostarinen a shot. He didn't get it through. Blocked by Sherry. Far side, Mike Riley able to keep it down low for the Panthers. Picked up on the end boards then Tkachuk. Around here to the near corner. Tkachuk Tries to shift away from Cirelli. He does. Gives to Riley. Low shot, stick save made by Johansson. Over on the far side, sort of to Riley. A drive, and it's blocked. That one off Cirelli. Ricochets into the neutral zone. And then Mike Riley able to regather it, and he'll toss a backhand deep into the offensive end. Both teams swap out some personnel. An eventful stretch with 14-11 left in the second. 2-2 the score. And here's Nick Paul past the defense. Nick Paul in. Low shot, stick save by Bobrovsky. And the puck is gathered by Balinskis. He looks to send it out of the zone. That bounces off a Tampa Bay forechecker and out of play. 5:58 gone by here in the second. 2-2 is our score. The Panthers a hefty 18-8 advantage in the shots on net.
And a lot of chemistry there between Tkachuk and Luostarinen. And Tkachuk again working his magic down low in front. Luostarinen a chance right in the middle of the slot there. Doesn't get all of he wants. And then coming the other way, Nick Paul just kind of hanging into the weeds there. Finds himself in all alone against Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky did a good job keeping that paddle on the ice as Paul tried to stuff it 5-hole against Bobrovsky. And Paul's one of those guys that come over too is going to be a big factor again. He's a big body, pretty talented player. So look at some of their guys. They got some size up front with Jeannot and Nick Paul.
They do, and Paul and Jeannot, going back to when he was with Nashville, both guys who've been streaky scorers as the puck is put down wide from Perbix. A shot from the far point. Casey Fitzgerald up the near side for Reinhart, but Tampa Bay, I'd imagine they'd like to see a little bit more consistency in the production department. We've seen both those guys able to score in bunches at times, as now we've got ourselves a stoppage in play. Looks like.
But Bobrovsky has never really, in a Panther uniform, put it together during the course of the regular season like he did in the playoffs. And he was back to a Vezina Trophy level. And if you're a Panther fan out there, if he gained that confidence and is back at that level during the regular season, watch out.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. Puck played up the near side. And a couple of notes on everything there pertaining to the goaltending as Glendening brings it in near side left circle, looks out front, good read by Kulikov defensively, laid down, clogged the lane, and now the puck fished out of the corner by Glendening. Out to the near point, DeHaan. He'll send it across, right side, Chernak back for DeHaan. He heads in left side, a shot that deflects wide, may have glanced off the mask of Bobrovsky, and the puck gathered on the end boards. Mirala out to the point again, this one taken by Chernak, a long shot that's blocked, and now the Lightning will continue to control in the offensive end. Tanner Jeannot dumped over, Glendening holds it in, battle for a loose puck over on that far side. Zach Dalpe will swing it cross ice, taken by Ryan Lomberg, tossed up the near side down to our right. Darren Radish back to play it. A long feed on the far side of the ice off the stick of Barry Boulay. He'll try and track this one down. The puck handled on the end boards. But as far as the Panthers' goaltending situation is concerned, Paul Maurice said they want Spencer Knight to experience being a number one and to play that role and to get into a groove in that role. And you and I, Billy, we've talked about Stolarz on the other hand. He's played 81 games in the National Hockey League, has a save percentage in that .915, .912 range, which is really good. And a lot of that's come on teams that weren't exactly playoff teams in a largely backup role. So he's been a great pro. He's a big guy and somebody who's going to be a real asset for this Panthers team in the goaltending department.
And they're going to have to use him because Bobrovsky, 35 years old, you can't expect to roll him out there for 60 games.
Right, he's not going to play 60, 65 games. Over on the far side of the ice, it's Gus Forsling, even though he'd play all 82 if he were allowed to play all 82. Out to the point, it's Uvis Balinskis. Given now to Forsling, a shot that deflects, and it stays in play off a high bounce. Out to the near point, they work it around. It's Uvis Balinski's left side, Forsling in front. Handled by Evan Rodriguez, back out to Forsling, left point shot, and the outstretched glove hand of Jonas Johansson will absorb that. 11:18 left in the second, 2-2 is the score. But the Panthers... And Jameson Olive and I were talking about that earlier today. First of all, with Paul Maurice, we said we thought he might have been the first coach to declare his opening night starter. I believe it was probably about 2 weeks ago. He said that Sergei's getting the net on opening night, so that was kind of a foregone conclusion. But that was confirmed a while back. As we have a face-off, far circle down to our right. Perbix will hand it back behind the net. Played up the near side all the way down to our left by Hedman as a pass missed the target. A collision. Fitzgerald took down Cirelli. But in talking about the goaltending situation, we'll get to that thought in a moment because the Panthers are back into the offensive end. Left side, a pass out front from Tkachuk. And this one goes into the near corner. Tkachuk here on the near side. He'll be held up by Cirelli. Loose puck along the boards. Cousins holds it in, and then Luostarinen will take over. Backhand across. This one is put toward the net by Kulikov and held by Johansson. 10:44 to go in the second. 2-2 the score. Well, the Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights met in the Cup final back in the spring, and both organizations showed the importance of being able to go far down the goaltending depth chart when you had to at times and have guys that can win games, a number of guys that can win games. The Panthers, with what Alex Lyon helped do down the stretch, that's a big reason why they got in the playoffs. Vegas, it's well documented. They had kind of a carousel of goaltenders at times due to injuries and things like that. And maybe you're seeing other teams across the league start to take note of that approach, that you need three guys that could win you games consistently in the NHL.
Yeah. With the injuries and the goaltending and the way the game's changed, you often have to go 3 deep, 4 deep. Vegas had to go, if you count Robin Lehner, went 5 deep.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Quick was thrown into that mix.
Well, yeah, because Lehner was, at the beginning of the year, they still thought he was going to be potentially a factor, as Perbix a shot that deflects off a Panther and wide to the far corner. Forsling will take over. Obviously, it was Aiden Hill who took over, and Hill was the backup for a big chunk of the year. Ended up seizing the starting role in the playoffs after Laurent Brossoit went down with an injury. But yeah, Quick was in the mix. Lehner early in the year, they used
Logan Thompson.
Yeah, Logan Thompson was an all-star. And he's healthy again, so they look good between the pipes with Hill and Thompson both in the mix and healthy. As Perbix plays one out towards center ice, he has Braden Point. Kucherov left side. Point again, heads in near circle, handed back. Kucherov, a low shot and a stick save made by Sergei Bobrovsky. Puck picked up off the end boards, a clearing feed. Kulikov finds Sordiff, and he'll guide one down to our right, deep into the Tampa Bay zone. Calvin DeHaan is back to play at 9:38 to go in the second. 2-2 the score. I know it has nothing to do with the Atlantic Division, but in the Eastern Conference, tell you what, he's had a great career. Gonna be worth watching in New York with the Broadway Blue Shirts. Jonathan Quick's the backup to Igor Shesterkin. He's going to have to play 20 or so games, and we'll see how that goes as the season unfolds.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick, his numbers the last 3-4 years have not been nowhere near his standard, and he is getting up there in age. And Shesterkin's all world, but if anything does happen to him, and the Rangers got to rely on Jonathan Quick, and he's going to have to rediscover that form.
As we've got a trip down there to our left.
Kulikov draws another penalty.
Yeah, he had his feet taken out from under him by Glendening. 8:55 to go in the second. 2-2 is the score. But that's the thing, and we've seen teams run into this situation in the past. You have the teams with the workhorse starting goaltender, and the Panthers have never been in this situation. The Panthers have always had somebody off the bench that they could call upon to help them get a win, or when they need to spell the starter. But we've seen teams over the years where they have a really hard time getting a win from a backup goaltender, and you can't fall into that situation.
Few and far between.
Face off far circle down to our right is the Panthers go into a power play presented by Seminole Coconut Creek Casino. Barkov will lean in against Sorelli. And not to bring up the Rangers again, Billy, but I don't know. The first team that comes to mind when you talk about teams that were very dependent on their goalie, my first couple of years here, I remember those Rangers teams with Henrik Lundqvist. They asked a lot out of him. As Mike Riley hands it off to the near side, it's Barkov. He'll play it down low. Kachuk, backdoor feed for Rodriguez. Just hopped over his stick. Over on the far side, Riley has it taken away, and Sorelli sends it all the way down. But yeah, there have been some teams over the years that are fine giving up grade A scoring chances because they had that kind of confidence in the goaltender. But that can be difficult at times too. Up the left side, it's Rodriguez. Out to the far side, Riley. He'll play it along the far boards. It's going to be taken by Rodriguez. Reinhart up top, Riley across near side. Barkov looks out to the line. Riley had it poked away, and Paul will clear.
On this power play, Evan Rodriguez playing the point. Not out there tonight, but has had a really good training camp. And Paul Maurice really excited about his potential. Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Yeah, he's been really good in the playoffs, especially in this role.
And you're going to figure he's going to get a chance to, with Montour and Ekblad out, to quarterback that number one unit. He's done it for a lot of years in Arizona. Vancouver, not so much once the arrival of Quinn Hughes came.
Hagel forced a turnover, heads in down to our left, gets a shot away, and he scores a short-handed goal for Tampa Bay. Brandon Hagel gives the Lightning a 3-2 advantage with 7:40 left in the second, 45 seconds left in the Tampa Bay penalty to Luke Glendening. But that was an intercepted pass in the neutral zone. Hagel darted down to our left, lost the puck but got it back and then just let it rip upstairs.
Tried a one-on-one move against Riley. Didn't get around him, was able to corral the puck, and then just a quick shot beats Bobrovsky. What a sequence for Hagel. He stopped a goal down the defensive end. It was going back door to Rodriguez on a pass from Tkachuk. It was Hagel who came all the way back, got his stick on it, prevented that power play goal, breaks up the play, goes down one-on-one, tries to move against Mike Riley, and Riley was looking in behind him, thinking the puck was behind him, bounced right back on the stick of Hagel. Quick shot, and we've got 2 shorthanded goals.
Yeah,
in
one
this
for each team.
Preseason game.
Cirelli with the clear. Mirala and Anton Lundell, a little bit of shoving. Meanwhile, as they got tangled up during that sequence, up the left wing side, here's Carter Verhaeghe for the Panthers to the circle, heads down behind the net, try to wrap it around. That one bounces away. In behind the net, Sergachev hands it straight on. Tanner Jeannot off to the far side. He tried to send it the length. It went off one of our linesmen, so a fortunate Panthers bounce there. And Kevin Stenlund will have it back inside the Panthers zone. The Glendenning penalty off the clock, so the Panthers don't cash in on that power play as Forsling dumps one down to our right. Puck around the end boards here on the near side. Verhaeghe with it. Verhaeghe held up here on the near wall. Pass down low. Stenlund looks off to the far side. And this one clubbed down off the end wall. Josh Mahura back into the action, so certainly a good sight there.
Yeah.
As the puck handled behind the net by Carter Verhaeghe blocked that shot back in the first period. And good to see Josh Mahura back in full force. Down behind the net, Stenlund. Out to the near point, Kulikov. Kulikov, Cousins looks off far side. Mahura shot. It's blocked by Paul. Over on the far wall, Stenlund kept it in for a moment. Radish able to angle one on. Pare Boulay will walk it through center. Down to our left. Pocket pick by Cousins. A lane back along. He's got Delpy with him. Cousins in front. Delpy a shot. And Johansson got enough of it to knock it away. Over on the far side of the ice, a 2-on-2 scrum. And Ryan Lomberg will pound it down behind the net. Cousins came up with that, and Zach Dalpe immediately, he was darting toward the net, and he was using hand gestures as well, pointing to the front of the goal, telling Nick Cousins, I'm going right to the net.
I'm open. What persistence on the puck by Cousins. On the back check, just never gave up. Finally was able to strip the puck and get it back, and they go the other way, transition, and Dalpe was on a breakaway. He knew it, and Cousins just had to pitchfork it in front. Dalpe, quick shot, and that is Johansson's best save of the evening.
Yeah, he's made some big saves. Puck play down to our left and around the end boards. And again, that could be the man for Tampa Bay in net when this season begins. Perbix, far side, Cirelli. Perbix, long drive, and it didn't get through. Kulikov in the way. Odd man rush for the Panthers coming back. Barkov, right side, Rodriguez. Along the near wing, slams on the brakes, takes a look down low, has Barkov, top of the right circle, pass across, shot, and that's wide from Balinskis. Here on the near side, Fitzgerald, Barkov, shot, and it's off the chest protector of Johansson. Verhaeghe tried to turn around, drive in front. Eyssimont had him tied up, and he couldn't get the shot away. Rodriguez kept it into the line. The Lightning do bring it out now. It's Perbix right side, Cirelli across. One-timer, Stamkos blocked by Fitzgerald, and then Stamkos back up top. DeHaan looks over to his right. A shot toward the net from Cirelli is blocked by Fitzgerald. Cirelli again with it, and then it's handed by Chernak down to the corner. Out of the corner, the Lightning controlling. It's Eyssimont. Angles one down behind the net. Stamkos dumped over by Rodriguez. Puck goes to the near corner. It's scooped up, cleared by Verhaeghe. And the puck play down to our right. 4:16 to play in the second. 3-2. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning out front of the Panthers on that Brandon Hagel shorthanded goal. Up the near wing, here's Kucherov. Kucherov's pass out of the reach of point. Kucherov gets it back around far side. Hagel down behind the net, bouncing puck side of the net, and this one scooped up here on the near side. Reinhart able to give to Sordiff up the boards. Reinhart, and then Reinhart pocket picked. Hagel will drag it back the other way. Hagel off to the right side point. Point has it inside the line, looks across, left point, long shot, DeHaan, wide off the end boards, played back up top, they work it around, Perbix, DeHaan, long shot deflecting, this one winds up back behind the goal, 2-on-2 scrum, in behind the Panthers net, it's going to be played by Lundell, up the near wall, loose puck, Braden Point with it, Kucherov takes over left point, Kucherov makes a move, left circle, left it back in the direction of Braden Point, but he had maneuvered off to his right, wasn't there for the pass. It leaves the zone, goes all the way down to our right, and with 3:15 to go in the second, it's 3-2 Tampa Bay.
Kucherov, so many moves. Sometimes they played together a long time. Point Kucherov, even Point could not figure out where that pass was going to come from. Kucherov. Funny thing about Kucherov is the way that he plays in the preseason with all this patience and dancing around. Same way he plays at regular season, postseason. And he has no care in the world when he's got that puck on the stick. He's going to try and do whatever he wants. And you get a chance like that, you don't take it for granted.
Yep.
And it is not the easiest thing to do to show that you can play with those people. But I'll go back to it is that if you have the skill and you can skate and then you get a chance to do it, it's a gift wrap that you maybe never thought you would ever see in your lifetime. And so when you get that chance like Evan Rodriguez and show it and improve, and this might be the best opportunity of his career as far as being set in a top 6 role and playing time.
And he told us that playing with Sidney Crosby, that Sid wanted you to be in close, the short passes, things like that. But he said playing with Jack Eichel in Buffalo, playing with Nathan McKinnon a lot in Colorado, those guys wanted you to give them space so that they could beat their guy one-on-one and you could get open elsewhere. Very different styles, but he made it work playing with both of them, or with all of them.
Yeah, some of the guys like to hang on to the puck, and this might be his easiest transition of all with Barkov. I mean, as far as Barkov, he's going to cover both ends of the rink, and he wants to get you the puck. He's just a guy, just get into the open areas, and Barkov's big enough to hang on to the puck and fend people off, and if you can skate, it's going to be on your stick from Barkov.
Now out come the Panthers left to right across your screen. 2:40 left in the second. A 3-2 Tampa Bay lead. Down to our right, Calvin DeHaan around here on the near side. Glendening. Long pass, Chernak up the wing, and this one out of the reach of Merrill, but he catches up to it. He's got Josh Mahura on him. Tanner Jeannot able to find it on the end boards. He's bumped off the puck. Merrill down there to help out for Tampa Bay. Around here to the near side, the Panthers regather. It's dragged along by Belinsky. It's given to Talpe, and Zach Talpe plays it down to our right into the Tampa Bay zone. Off to the far side, Merrill around for DeHaan, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will have some time now. Tkachuk fresh off the bench as DeHaan plays a bank pass near side on the money for Barry Boulay. He's got a lane left side, scoots in, can't get a shot away, rolling puck to the top of the goal crease. Tampa Bay didn't get that scoring chance they were looking for. Panthers on the counterattack. It was the speed of Forsling getting back, made sure Barry Boulay couldn't do anything with that potential opportunity.
Forsling can always skate, and when he gets caught out of position, he finds a way to break up plays. Elite skating ability. Tampa Bay still loves those long stretch passes. It's one of those teams that they'll give you some stuff offensively, and if it breaks down, always seems like there's a guy hanging on that far blue line. We saw Barry Boulay do it there. We saw Paul do it earlier in this game. Kucherov, Point, those guys kind of hang out and watch in the offensive zone, and as soon as there's any kind of breakup or mix-up, they sprint to that far blue line as fast as they can.
He's off to the right of Johansson down to our right inside the Tampa Bay zone, and off the draw, Victor Hedman swats at one, clears the zone. The puck goes down to our left, and Casey Fitzgerald is after this one down inside the Panthers zone. He's pressured by Barry Boulay, wraps one around near side. Barkov poked it out of the zone. Here on the near side, Victor Hedman with it for the Lightning, and he'll scoop one down to our left far corner. Mike Riley is after it, sends one up the boards, takes a bounce. This one goes all the way down. There won't be an icing call here as Darren Radish is the first one back for Tampa Bay. He'll immediately clear, and that will be an icing call. 56.3 seconds left in the second. 3-2. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning in front. Hockey season's here. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the Panthers. Get all your Panthers tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. That's SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Face off to the right of Johansson, down to our right. Anton Lundell leans in against Stamkos, who wins the draw for Tampa Bay, and then Radish will clear. At center, Eyssimont. He'll work into the offensive end for the Lightning. Backhands down off the end boards. He's crunched on the end wall hard by Belinsky's, and Mikey Eyssimont is not back to his feet yet. Back come the Panthers, sort of had it roll away. Stamkos clearing feed out of the reach of Cirelli. Eyssimont slow getting to the bench, so had he touched up or had Cirelli played that puck, could have been an offside call against the Lightning. Meanwhile, 28 seconds left in the period. Looks like Eysimont's just going to take his seat on the bench, not going down the tunnel, at least not for now. 27 seconds left in the second. 3-2. Tampa Bay in front, an icing call and a face-off coming up down to our right.
Big blast there. Nice. Eyssimont was slow getting back to that bench. Took a while. Belinsky's trying to make a mark, trying to make it. Those are some of those plays. Big hit against AC Mont.
Now the puck sent out of the Tampa Bay zone by Sergachev, all the way down to our left, and Forsling back to play it. He'll clear immediately. Radish backed up to the Panthers line. Pass on the far side, it's Kucherov. Had it taken away by Stenlin. The Panthers in their own zone, it's Dalpe. Near side, dumped down by Kulikov. Around the end wall it goes, loose back in behind the net. Brandon Hagel takes over, and he'll clear. That's it for 2 periods. 3-2 Lightning through 40 minutes of action here at Amerant Bank Arena.
3-2, only goal in the second period. Short-handed Brandon Hagel was able to get it. Quick wrist shot after a broken up play going against Mike Riley. Gets it by Bobrovsky. 3-2, and the good news, Doug, only one more period left, and then it's for real.
This is it for the preseason. All you preseason fans, we're down to the final period of the preseason.
We are down to the final period. It's all the players going to get excited. I remember going through.
Like both goaltenders going to go the distance. Generally, that's how things go at this time in the preseason. Last period of the preseason for the two teams as the puck is picked up around center, chopped down to our left by Forsling, cut off by Braden Point. He'll drop it back for the defense. Radish winds it around, far side, and now the Panthers keep in the zone. A shot, Barkov out of the far circle. That's wide. Rims off to the near wall. Handled here on the near side, handled down by the down to our left by Darren Radish. Given off to the far side, Kucherov, rink wide. It's Radish now up the near side, gains center, plays it in down to our right back behind the net, hopped over the stick of Bobrovsky. It's Kucherov behind the net, Stamkos there, Stamkos out in front, a shot top shelf, and they score. What a rip from Braden Point off the crossbar and in, and Tampa Bay has a 4-2 lead 40 seconds into the third.
That's how they score 51 goals. Didn't take long, a little work behind the net. Kucherov, Braden Point just kind of finds a soft spot between the 4 defenders that are trying to cover him, and Kucherov puts it right on his stick. Quick release, and you mentioned it, crossbar down. Didn't take much time. Braden Point, he's one of those guys that you talked about playing with Kucherov and finding those areas.
Yep.
Just find that little soft spot where you can get it off in time. And it didn't take long. He pulled that trigger quickly, and it went immediately bar down.
Now over on the far side of the ice, Kulikov able to break up a pass, play down into the Tampa Bay zone, and immediately Perbix will send it out. Down to our right, it rolls, and it's handled by Kulikov. Takes it back behind the Panthers net. Kulikov here to the near side. He's bumped into then here along the near boards by Sherry. Puck held down low, Perbix thrown out in front. Barré-Boulet out to the far point. Hedman fields it. Long shot tipped wide, looking for the stick of Barré-Boulet, and that one goes wide of the corner. Nick Cousins will find it. Skates around the back of the net off to the far corner, given to Eetu Luostarinen. Backhand up the ice, finds Matthew Tkachuk. He'll fling it cross ice on the move, in stride. Luostarinen had it, tried to center, couldn't get what he wanted on the pass, and Perbix will send it out of the zone. He was upended by Tkachuk. Puck played across the Panthers' blue line, and now it's Casey Fitzgerald here on the near wall. He'll get across center, took a hit from Chernak, played it down into the Tampa Bay zone. Kucherov out of the near corner. He'll give one straight on Cirelli, able to clear for Tampa Bay, and Mahura now backed up inside his own end. Josh Mahura across the ice. Sam Reinhart to Anton Lundell. 18-10 left in the third. 4-2 the score. First time there's been a 2-goal spread on the board in this game. Johansson mishandles one. Played out in front. Bouncing puck. And it was Justin Sordiff who rolled that into the blue paint. Johansson, a little bit of a miscommunication maybe there with the defense. Maybe just mishandled that puck entirely. Panthers back into the offensive end now. And the Tampa Bay Lightning can breathe a sigh of relief after that little miscue.
And it bounced right in front, and Sordiff just couldn't get a handle on it. Misbead. It was rolling right through that blue paint.
Now Reinhart near circle. Balinski's out to the line. Forsling a shot, and that one is blocked by Hagel, who broke his stick blocking that shot. Here on the near side, Balinski is taken down by Cirelli. Out to the point, Reinhart across. Forsling a drive, and that one's off. Ryan Lomberg didn't get through. Scooped up, cleared, then by Hagel, and the puck rolls down to our right, and this one is going to be... No, they don't whistle it. We play on. Balinski's.
No whistles.
No whistles.
Preseason, just keep it going.
Feels like a lot of icings have been let go at times throughout the preseason. Stenlin works in near side, had it poked away. And up the near side comes Merila for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Rolled in on net, covered up there by Bobrovsky. Some shoving out in front of the goal. Bobrovsky holding it there. 3:02 off the clock in the third. 4-2, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. Out in front here in this one, Braden Point, after Tampa Bay scored the only goal in the second, that shorthanded goal from Hagel. They now have a goal here in the third period as well.
Brayden Point with that goal, and you look back at the recent stretch for the Lightning, the 3 straight appearances in the Stanley Cup final, winning back-to-back Stanley Cups, last year losing to Toronto. Whatever you want to say, and I know the rivalry's become bitter between these two teams, and good, because it's awesome to have these teams really good at the same time. But what they've done in that recent stretch, whatever you want to say in the rivalry, you have to respect what they did in that time period, because it was one of the greatest stretches that,
absolutely,
especially in the salary cap area, it'll be hard to duplicate anything like they've been able to do, and they're still there again. They still have the talent to be in the picture, which is usually teams. You saw Pittsburgh and Chicago, like usually it just drops off a cliff after a while, but seems like it's going to be sustainable in Tampa Bay for at least a couple more years.
Julien Brisebois has been aggressive. He's made some great moves to keep things moving forward there, and this core in Tampa still has a lot of life to it, no doubt about that, and a lot of runway as the puck taken by Merilla in the corner. And it's looking for contributions from guys like that, like Waltteri Merilla. Guys like that along the way, they're able to add to the mix as Radish puts one down wide, rims out to the point. Sergachev looking across, rink wide, handled here by Radish, played down to the end boards then. Josh Mahura swats it away from Janot. Puck goes off to the far corner. Merilla held it in. Stenlund shakes off a check as he regathered for the Panthers, dropped it behind the net then for Mahura. And Josh Mahura got it on to Ryan Lomberg, who pushed it to the neutral zone to clear, and it's dumped back in by Radish to our right. Stamkos over on the far side, poked along, out to the point. Sergachev back down here toward the corner, has Kucherov along the near wall, drifts out toward the line, gives to Perbix here on the near side. 15:39 to play here in the third period of action. 4-2, it's Tampa Bay in front. Point then around to the far corner. Stamkos along the far boards. Kucherov, all the big guns on for Tampa Bay here on this sequence. Stamkos to Kucherov, far side to the line. Sergachev, and he'll fling it down low as this one rolls to the end wall. A Panther gathering his stick. That's Rodriguez over on the far side after he took a tumble along the boards. He's back into the action. Brayden Point has it stripped away by Rodriguez, and the puck cleared all the way down to our left into the Tampa Bay zone. Both teams get some fresh personnel out there as we've gone about 5 minutes here in this third period of play. A 4-2 Tampa Bay lead over the Panthers in this one. Tkachuk had a man lined up here on the near side, and Nick Paul got out of the way at the last second. Now Paul in over the Panthers line, looks left, far side. Sherry on the run, down behind the net. He's held up by Belinsky. Sherry able to grab control, then he gave it away to Forsling, who looks to clear, held in by Perbix, down behind the net. Barry Boulay with it in the corner, backhand to the line, couldn't get it out to Hedman, and the Panthers bring it out of the zone. Cousins tied up around center ice by Perbix, who strips the puck away and then drops it back for Victor Hedman down to our left. Long feed straight on, deflecting this one in on Bobrovsky. Billy, you were talking about the run of success there the Tampa Bay Lightning had, and I think looking back especially, a couple of those seasons were unconventional calendars, and to me, I know everybody has their different interpretations of all that, but that almost makes it more impressive as it's played out front. Big save Bobrovsky as he is able to get across to deny Calvin DeHaan cruising in on net. He pinched in for that scoring chance. 14:07 left in the third, keeps the Panthers within a pair, but to do it the way they did it in a couple of unconventional calendars, that was no easy task.
It wasn't. Those were hard years, tough to navigate, and everyone's in the same boat. They were the one that came out on top. It's any championship, it doesn't matter if it's the funky years, whatever, it can never be taken away from you because everyone was trying to vie for it and do the same thing, and you were the team that was the best out of all of it, and your name's on the trophy.
Yep.
That's all that matters. Panthers trying to get there, and we mentioned this rivalry. How great now with the Panthers coming in when Toronto comes in the building. We don't like them. Carolina, Boston. The rivalry games.
Yeah, you get playoff series against teams, and that just takes things to a different level when the two teams get back on the ice against each other as the puck's played down to our right into the Panthers zone. Hagel, Stamkos near side looking for Cirelli then. Justin Sordiff in the lane. He'll play it out of the zone. Sam Reinhart across center, and the puck dumped in down to our left around the end wall. 13:36 to go in the third period. Chernak gives off to the far corner. It's chopped up the ice, cleared out of the zone by DeHaan. And now here on the near boards, it's Barkov. He'll swerve away from some pressure. Heads up the left wing, giving to Mahura. Mahura sends one toward the net, paddled away by Johansson. Cirelli sends it around the end boards as he'll clear, and this one goes out through the neutral zone down to our right, just inside the Panthers line, taken by Casey Fitzgerald. Cross ice Mahura, chips it along, near side Rodriguez, makes a move, shakes down behind the net. Off to the far corner, onto Fitzgerald, right circle, a shot didn't get through, and then a try out of that circle from Verhaeghe is also blocked. Down behind the net, Barkov giving to Rodriguez side of the net. Tried to feed Verhaeghe in front, couldn't get that pass to connect. Out come the Tampa Bay Lightning, Glendening up the left side. He was upended. Puck came free. Fitzgerald canceled him out. The Panthers on the counterattack. Back they go down to our left. It's Barkov drifting toward the near side. He'll backpedal a bit. Panthers getting some fresh legs out there. Given to Forsling, and now he's going to dart straight on. Forsling across center. This one driven in. 12:33 left in the third. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Victor Hedman behind the net. He'll give off to the near side. Stamkos. Stamkos out of the zone. A bouncing puck. Braden Point finds it. Gives Hedman into the rush. Can't get a shot away. Had it ripped away by Forsling, who darts back the other direction. He's shouldered by Braden Point. Forsling still able to dump the puck into the offensive end. Around it goes. Far corner Hedman. Behind the net Perbix. Off to the near side. Taken by Stamkos. He'll flip it along. Didn't get it out. Forsling a long shot. Tipped high of the net by Stenlund, and then Hedman will hand it along. Braden Point, rink wide, Kucherov quickly developing, 2-on-1 Kucherov out in front, a chance, Stamkos stopped by Bobrovsky. Forsling able to punch the puck up the far boards, and that helps the Panthers get it out. Panthers were caught in a change there, and a 2-on-1 came back the other way in a hurry.
Late line change there, late getting on, and could not recover, and Stamkos, one of the best one-timer slap shots in the game, gets it right down the throat against Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky out challenging, able to get a piece of it.
Now it's center ice. The puck taken and played in by Sherry down to our right into the Panthers zone. Polinski's around to the far corner. Mike Riley up the boards, off the stick of Nick Cousins, and then it's cleared by Mike Riley into the neutral zone. And to our left, Chernak there for the Lightning. Up the near wall, Sherry upended there by Eetu Luostarinen. Rolling puck deep into the Panthers zone. On the end boards, near side, Luostarinen. He'll play one straight on. Intercepted Nick Paul down to the corner. Paul after it. He sidesteps a check. Loose puck on the near side down to our right. And Luostarinen able to feed it around. Far corner, it's Riley. And he'll send one high in the air. Takes a bounce down to our left. And it's swatted back along. On it was Chernak. Barry Boulay dropped it back his way. Off to the far side, it's DeHaan. Cross ice Hagel here on the near side. Backpedals a bit. Hands it back for the Tampa Bay defense. With 10:42 left in the third, it's 4-2 Lightning. 24-17, the Panthers lead the shots.
I got a trivia question I want to ask you. Think if you can come up with it about the Panthers last year. Who graded out on the Panthers last year with all the analytics and stuff? Who was the best Panther defensive forward throughout the course of last year? Graded out the best defensively when you put all the analytics together.
Obviously, you're thinking Barkov, but now I'm wondering if it's Eetu Luostarinen.
All the duties, you know who it was?
He's played at least 78 games in every one of those seasons. And the seasons that were cut off, I believe 1920, he played 69 games. I think he played them all that year. And then 2021, he played 54 out of the 56 in that season. So Sam Reinhart, he always, one of the best abilities is availability, and he's always out there as the puck's played down to our right. Just a really durable guy too. Here on the near side of the ice, it's Ryan Lomberg. Not to mention the fact that he's at this point basically become 30 goals in the bank every year.
Yeah, hit 30. He could have scored 60 last year. It seemed like with his amount of chances.
Here's Stenlund in close, a shot, and that goes wide. Around to the far side, Fitzgerald plays it down low, but it all goes along with the smarts, the hockey smarts and the hockey IQ that Sam Reinhart has, and just a great player to watch every single night. 2-on-2 scrum here on the near side of the ice. Picked up. Marilla walks it into the neutral zone, taps it along near side of the ice, and it's brought on by Jeannot. Tanner Jeannot here on the near wall. Looks rink wide. Has Braden Point in the open to the far circle. Handed back and a drive from Kucherov. That one ricochets high and wide. Point finds it. He fights through a check from Lomberg. Backhand out to the point. Radish sidesteps a broken stick. Plays it down to the near corner. Handled by Kucherov then. Out to the line. It's Radish. He looks off to his left. A shot, and that one deflecting. It was Sergachev who let it go. Stays in play off the high glass. Stenlund looking to bat it out of the the zone, and that one is held in by Radish at the line. A good hand-eye coordination display there. Radish off to the far side. A shot from Sergachev off the pipe. It stays out of the net. We play on. Braden Point down in the far corner. Gives to Stamkos. Out to the line, Sergachev, rink wide. It's Radish, right point. Hands off, Kucherov. Tampa Bay, a lot of zone time here on this stretch. Kucherov, high slot, Stamkos, shot, pad save, Bobrovsky. And the puck picked up, played to the line by Lomberg, but held in by Radish once again. He gloved it that time. Now it's Kucherov. Dances around a broken stick. Pass to the high slot. Lomberg intercepting, and he'll clear. And the puck down to our left. 8:18 left in the third. 4-2 is the score. Tampa Bay in front. John Cooper.
Does he think this is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final?
Well,
he loaded up Point.
He's done it a few times, and you wonder if
Stamkos, they're playing together here in this third period.
It's a tune-up, and I'd imagine the preseason's about situations, and he's probably thinking, at times he's going to need to put those guys together in a desperate situation in the third period of a big game. Once you get to the regular season, in their case, that starts on Tuesday.
Well,
he probably just wants to get everybody on the same page.
They've been on the same page for about 5 years.
For years.
It looked like it on that shift.
Barkov down to the near corner, peels off to the boards, backhand feet up top. Rodriguez now at the Belinsky's right point. He's bumped by Sherry. Belinsky's hands it off the far wall out to the right point. Long shot of Rodriguez. That's over the net. Picked up here on the near side by Belinsky's in the corner. He's held up by Perbix. And now a 2-on-2 scrum here on the near side. Sherry dropped it back behind the net. Hedman, and he'll flip this one out to center. Forsling will scoot back forward. 7:14 left in the third. 4-2. Tampa Bay in front. Panthers a 24-18 shot advantage as Forsling lets a forward change take place out front of him. Mike Riley pass up the far wing for Tkachuk out of his reach. Down to our left it goes. Johansson, the goaltender, out to play it, and he'll swing it off to the near corner. Cousins able to intercept, plays it around. Far side, Kulikov gives to Tkachuk. Tkachuk over at the far point. Takes a look, he's bumped into. The puck goes into the neutral zone. Now it's Kulikov giving to the near side. Riley. Mike Riley dumps it in down to our left. Around the end boards it goes. And over on that far side, Nick Cousins able to dart in to grab control. He's taken off his feet by DeHaan. On the end wall, then it's Chernak giving back to DeHaan. Far corner. Springs one on for Cirelli. 3-on-2. Out come the Lightning. Here's Cirelli. Has it poked away by Mike Riley. Bouncing puck high in the air, and Cousins able to locate it. 6:24 to go in the third. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Pass here on the near side. Tkachuk. He'll work across center. And the puck played down to our left. Pushed away by the goal stick of Johansson. Out of the near corner, it's Sergachev. On for Maryland. Glendening takes over at center ice. Backhand off the far boards. Down to our right, it's Fitzgerald. And he'll have it on the end wall. Giving around near side, Mahura. Up the boards, Lundell. Fitzgerald then has some room to skate. Left wing side on the money for Sortif. Heads in, gives back to Fitzgerald. Little out of his reach. Played back out front by Reinhardt. And it's pushed away by the blocker of Johansson. And darting in was Josh Mahura, whose shot goes up and out of play. Perhaps off a deflection there. 5:52 to go in the third. 4-2 Tampa Bay.
And then it's changed. It does not matter what happens to the uniform. Ketchup, anything. It's 3 days for the shirt, 3 days for the shorts and socks. So it's 92. I'm not going to argue with him. I just go with it.
Yep.
After 3 days. And
out to the point. A long shot. Belinsky's kicked away by Johansson. And Forsling will push one down through the near circle. Lundell out in front of shot, and it's wide. Off to the far boards. Always great to see your pops out at the games as the puck's brought on by Braden Point. Up the far wing, the puck taken away, and Sam Reinhart heads back into the neutral zone. Anton Lundell bumped there by Stamkos. And now a loose puck gathered in. Reinhardt in, hands it off right side, taken by Lundell across the ice. And then a big drive. Forsling broke his stick in half. Darren Radish will play back along towards center, gives to Point. Now up the right side, it's Stamkos. Behind the net point, held up there by Lundell. Puck squirts off to the side of the net, and it's covered by Bobrovsky. 5:06 left in the third, 4-2. It's the Lightning out in front. Now looking at that October schedule, Billy, again, and this is, you talk about Spencer Knight going to the American Hockey League, but this is where you look at the schedule. If Sergei Bobrovsky gets hot early on, there are no back-to-backs in there.
Yeah, and slowed it up after that homestand that you got. Well, that homestand, you got a 3-day break in there after the San Jose game, and a couple games. You don't even. Yeah, it's not a hefty load at all in October.
Out to the right point, it's Perbix. Giving to Barry Boulay here on the near side. Paul down behind the net. and he'll muscle his way off to the far corner. Has it taken away by Barkov, though, and Barkov will head up the far side, gives to Kulikov, near side for Heggie. Verhage on the wing, looks out front. Barkov backhand shot, stopped by Hudson, and the rebound from Rodriguez stopped as well. Out to the near point, Kulikov played down to the corner. Johansson has made some huge saves in this game for Tampa Bay. He had the shutout back on Tuesday. Obviously, the first one tonight, he would have liked to have had back. We've seen him mishandle a couple of pucks, but overall, he's made the big saves when he's been called upon.
The mental fortitude after giving up an early goal like that, if you're evaluating
on the road,
too, the bench, you're looking at him. How does he bounce back after giving up a bad goal early on that shorthanded goal by Lomberg? And he's done it in spades.
Now here on the near side, Louis Dorina had a puck poked away. Up the near side come the Lightning. Sorelli in front to an open man. A shot, Hagel, and a glove save made by Bobrovsky. Couldn't hang on to it with the glove, but he knocked it away. Eyssimont tries to regather control for the Lightning, but it's cleared by Casey Fitzgerald. On to Matthew Tkachuk. Louis Dorina across. Here's Mahura. Mahura on the near side. Puts it down low. Louis Dorina back behind the net. He's dumped over behind the goal by Chernak. Tkachuk in to give a shot to him. Meanwhile, the puck played out to center. Josh Mahura is upended. Now it's a rolling puck here on the near side. Chernak pushed it to Hagel, and the puck dumped down to a right.
The one thing that you don't want to see during the regular season that's materialized in this game is the number of odd man rushes that's come back against you. Panthers have had a couple, but the other way, there's been 6 or 7 odd man rushes, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, that have led to really good scoring chances for the Lightning.
Radish dumps it in down to a right, 3:13 to play in the third. A chance in close and a save, Bobrovsky, that time on Luke Glendening. 3:10 to play in the third, 4-2. It's the Lightning in front, 29-20. The Panthers lead the shots. The final media timeout of the preseason.
It's fun to come to games and watch every single night the skill that the NHL has to offer. And that is with 32 teams in the league. The expansion, and they still have 32 teams and everyone, and the excitement now upcoming around Connor Bedard in Chicago, and Fantilli with the Columbus Blue Jackets. There are going to be some rookies on the year that are going to turn some heads.
Puck played out to the neutral zone. Kucherov flings it back the other way. Bobrovsky back behind the net to play it. Gives to Forsling near side. He's pressured by Stamkos. Pass to Lundell. Lundell with Kucherov on him. The puck cleared out of the zone down to our left. A bouncer. And they're going to whistle this one. An icing call. So 2:38 left in the third. 4-2 is the Tampa Bay lead. Yeah, Billy, I'm sure there is still value if you really just want to get noticed in a preseason game to drop in the gloves. I'm sure there is still some value to that, but you used to see it a lot more, I feel like.
Yeah, it used to be part of making the team.
Yeah,
you used to have 3 or 4. You had 2 or 3 legitimate tough guys, and you had 1 or 2 that, like, no way could even make it near a training camp these days that would play. But that was the way it's back in, and there's been an evolution of the game, and fighting still should be
holds a place.
Yeah, it still holds a place, but it's gotten to me, it's gotten to almost the perfect point.
Yeah, they've handled it well. It's been an organic decrease without having to put in a set rules. The Lightning generate a chance out in front. Oh, Bobrovsky, what a save there on a quick setup in close. Hagel, and then he ripped it back toward the net from along the near boards, and Bobrovsky again, the outstretched left pad, able to make the save, and he covers up, and with 2:09 left in the third, a 4-2 Tampa Bay lead, and we've got a penalty on the way to Dmitry Kulikov, so Tampa Bay is going to have a power play here in the late stages.
Another odd man rush, and this time Hedman jumping up in the play. Whether it's motivation or what the lineup is for Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's they've been the quicker team tonight as far as the speed goes and getting to the areas and scoring areas. And there another odd man rush develops, and Sorelli gets a scoring chance.
And down behind the net.
It's nothing for me to be. I'm not concerned about it or worrisome. I'm just trying to evaluate what's taking place in this actual game.
Tampa Bay with a late power play chance here. Kucherov, Hedman, far circle, a one-time try from Stamkos, and a save is made by Bobrovsky with 1:52 left in the third. 4-2 Lightning. Well, again, it's all situational, and John Cooper's got Paul centering point, Stamkos, Kucherov at the right point, Hedman at the left point, so getting a look at different power play configurations on the Tampa Bay side. For the Panthers, Kevin Stenlund coming away with a loose puck off the draw. He'll walk it up the near side, dumps it down to our left. And on the end boards, Victor Hedman is back to play it. Stenlund over against him. And Hedman will peel away, darts along, straight on, takes a look back, has Kucherov on a drop pass, and Kucherov will meander out to center ice. He'll hand one back, though, away from Braden Point. That'll send the Lightning back into their own end with 1:21 left here in this third period of play. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Out to center comes Hedman. Drops it off Kucherov to Point to his right. Then he gives along the boards to Paul, who stood up by Mahura. Rolling puck along the wall, sent around by Fitzgerald, held in Stamkos to the point. Hedman across near side, it's Kucherov. Kucherov near half wall. He'll hold it along the boards. Nikita Kucherov into the right circle. Takes a look around, pass down low into the near corner. It's Paul back up top. Kucherov looks across. Hedman back to Kucherov, top right circle. Kucherov out in front. Point tried a shot. Paul in close. Backdoor feed. It hopped away from Stamkos. Didn't get solid contact on it. Puck went wide. Stamkos looking back up top. Hedman able to keep it in. An airborne puck settled it down. Kucherov here on the near side into the circle. Kucherov down low, overshot Paul. Paul looking for it on the inboards, picked up, sent up the wall by Dalpe, and he'll get it out for the Panthers. 28 seconds to go in this one, 4-2. It's Tampa Bay out in front as the Lightning will get things started back in their own end. There's time for one more rush if they choose to go for it here. 17 seconds left in the third. The penalty to Kulikov, winding down. Puck brought to center ice by Boulay, gives to Hagel, puts one down toward the net, and an offside call against the Lightning. So 11 seconds left in this one. 4-2 Tampa Bay, and 2 seconds left in that Kulikov penalty. At the end of these 11 seconds, it'll be off to the regular season for these two teams.
Yep, 3 days before it officially kicks off, and
Tampa Bay plays the first game of the calendar.
Yep. It'll be a triple header.
Yeah. It's an ESPN triple header to start the season.
Yep, to start it. Lightning and Predators will kick it off 5:30 Eastern on October 10th.
And the Panthers will play on Thursday at 8 Eastern on the road against the Minnesota Wild, a season-opening 3-game road trip. And that's what's up next because the horn sounds. The Panthers fall here in the preseason finale to the Tampa Bay Lightning. 4-2 is the final score. Panthers and the Lightning both move on to the real thing after this one. Panthers tripped up by Tampa Bay in this one, but that's it for the preseason slate.